Oregon's win total is currently set at 10.5, and while the season is still 6 or 7 months away, and the win total could definitely change, go up or go down, depending on what happens throughout the offseason, the transfer portal, and everything else that goes along the offseason, this is the number that we have to go up, and I want to take a few minutes to talk about what Dillon Gabriel, how Dillon Gabriel can impact that win total. How many wins is Dillon Gabriel worth? How many wins is the quarterback position worth in general? And then how can Dillon Gabriel impact that position? Because the schedule is a favorable schedule compared to a lot of these like SEC schedules, right? Like Oklahoma, and Texas, or Tennessee and Florida. They all got some pretty tough schedules. While Oregon has a tough schedule per se, but it's a much favorable schedule. But with that said, they still have traditionally the top two teams in the Big Ten that they have to face, and that's Ohio State and Michigan. So before we even dive into the rest of the video, you have to go at least at the bare minimum 1-1 against those two schools, right? So Oregon, Dillon Gabriel, how many wins is he worth, right? Well, I think he's going to have to be at least worth one big win, and that's going to be either against Ohio State or Michigan. He's got to be worth at least one big win. But Gabriel coming in from Oklahoma, I don't want to diminish the impact of the loss that Bo Nix is, because he played such fantastic football for Oregon. Was one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year for Oregon. But at least you know what you have with Dillon Gabriel. Experienced quarterback, he can fit that offense well, get the ball out quick. And I thought last year was a career year for Gabriel, right? He was able to push the ball downfield more than he ever had. He used his legs a bit more too, which I think is going to fit this offense really well. And the accuracy was off the charts as well. And so with Oregon's offense, they throw the ball so quickly, they get the ball out of the quarterback's hands so quickly. A lot of throws are behind the line of scrimmage. I think adding Gabriel, you could potentially maybe even push the ball downfield a bit more than what you did last year, because that was something that Oregon didn't really need to do, which I think you may have to do in some of these games, right? Or at least Michigan, Ohio State, you may have to push the ball downfield more than you did last year. The biggest thing that Oregon wasn't able to do last year was win the big game against Washington. So I think it comes down to, can Gabriel just win one of these big games? If you do, you're probably in the playoffs. If you do, you're probably, or for sure, hitting this win total. Now, you can only lose one game, so it makes it tough. So, it's a tough, anytime it's a 10.5, it's a tough win total, but the schedule is there to do it. The pathway is there to do it if Gabriel can play like he did last year. I think it comes back to Dillon Gabriel playing and playing at the same level that he was at last year, where he pushed the ball downfield. He was able to take up with his legs, and his accuracy was off the charts, like we talked about. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand. Can he do what he did last year? He doesn't need to play any better. If he does, great. But if he just plays how he did last year, I think you have a chance to get at this win total. So let's go through the schedule. We'll go game by game, talk about who has the advantage, what needs to happen, then kind of wrap the video up about the pathway to hit this win total. All right, so you start off with Idaho. Gets a win. You start with Boise State at home. Should be another win. Oregon State away. This isn't the same Oregon State that we're used to, where they're challenging and they lost DJU, lost your quarterback, lost your head coach. That should be a win. Then you're off. Then you have UCLA away. Again, should be a win. So your first 4 games are almost like Pac-12 type games, right? You got your non-conference games against Idaho and Boise State. Then you have Oregon State and UCLA. So it's almost like you're still in the Big 12. Then the Big 10 starts. Then now the traditional Big 10 starts with Michigan State. That's at home. Still, you're going to be the favorite. That should be a win. Even with Michigan State being improved, that should be a win. Then you have Ohio State at home. This is going to be one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest game of the year. Both Ohio State and Oregon their win totals are at 10.5. This is going to be an exciting game, right? Chip Kelly coming back, being the OC now. It's going to be a really exciting game. Gabriel, a lot of experience. Will Howard, the quarterback for Ohio State, a lot of experience. This is a coin flip game. I think I lean Oregon just a little bit here because it's at Oregon. This is coin flippy, right? This is one of those coin flip games. After that, you go to Purdue away. That should be a win. Illinois, home. Then you have Michigan away. Maybe this could be the toughest game on the schedule, even though you played Ohio State, who may be better. It's at least at home. Now you have to go to the big house, play away, but I still think you have the advantage, right? You got the quarterback experience. You got the coaching experience. Michigan is going to have a new quarterback. They have a new coach. They have a lot of turnover. And I still think Michigan's going to be one of the best teams in the country, but this is where having a quarterback like Dillon Gabriel may come into play. This may be that one win that, like, hey, the quarterback position is really, really worth it here. This may be that one game, and I think you have the advantage at this position. Like, I still think it's a coin flip game. but I think you have the advantage here based off the experience that you have. But again, way too early to have predictions. It's coin flippy, but I think I lean Oregon. Then you have Maryland at home, should be a win. Wisconsin away. You should be the favorite here, but I think Wisconsin's going to be pretty good this year. Wisconsin could be a legit slip-up spot. I would watch out for Wisconsin, especially if Tyler Van Dyke meshes well with the offense at Wisconsin. I think Luke Fickell's a hell of a coach. Now you have Tyler Van Dyke, and they're hoping that Tyler Van Dyke can be the quarterback they wanted Tanner Mordecai to be last year. If Van Dyke can come in and come back to his, 2022 form, I believe that was the year. Was it 2021 maybe he had the big year? Regardless, the big year that he had at Miami, if he can come back to that form, they'd be pretty good. It's a slip-up spot. Then you're off. Then you have Washington at home. And I don't want to dismiss Washington either. Washington beat Oregon twice last year, but it is a totally different team. New quarterback coming in with Will Rogers. That's kind of my big hope with Washington is you have an experienced quarterback who could hopefully lead you to be somewhat close to what you were last year. But you lost so much that I think this game isn't as big as what it would have been if all the pieces weren't leaving. You know what I mean? So I lean Oregon here, but I still think you can kind of flow that into that. You can kind of have that coin flippy essentially, but not nearly as much as Ohio State and Michigan. So it's a favorable schedule, but you do have Ohio State and Michigan. It comes down to those two games. Can Dillon Gabriel just lead you to one game, to victory over one of those games, one of those teams? It comes down to those games. Your first 4 games like a Pac-12 game. You have to split with Michigan and Ohio State like we talked about. And then this may be even more important. If you split to Michigan and Ohio State, you have to avoid slip-up. Slip-up games like Michigan State at home, UCLA away, Oregon State away, Purdue away, Illinois at home. Like those are slip-up games you just have to avoid. And Wisconsin is slip-up-ish, but I think if Wisconsin is pretty good, like I think they're going to be and surprise some people, Oregon will be on alert, and it won't be slip-up. It'll just be a really good game, right? So with that said, it still comes back to Ohio State and Michigan. But Dillon Gabriel's experience, even if he doesn't take another step, if he's just that same quarterback, this reliable, consistent, if he's that same quarterback he was last year, I think Oregon could lean towards the over in this win total. But we're still so far out ahead. Who knows? Who the hell knows what really is going to happen? But with that said, Oregon fans or just quarterback fans, I wonder from you, what are your thoughts? Do you think Oregon can win? Can get the win total? Can they hit the over? What's the pathway to win, right? Like, where are the other slip-up games? Where are there challenging games? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on Dillon Gabriel as well. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be the guy, but they have Dante Moore coming in, who's an absolute stud. I know he struggled at UCLA. Is he coming in to learn from Gabriel and get better, or is he trying to compete, right? Like, so who really knows? We're so far out ahead, but we just wanted to make a quick video and talk about the impact that Gabriel could have on this schedule. If this is your first time watching us, we're just a big quarterback hub. We talk all things quarterback, so if that's kind of your niche, kind of your thing, consider subscribing and liking and sharing the video. And again, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do they hit the over? Do they not? Let us know. We'll see you next time. Peace.